All right. So I will dive right in. Thanks everyone for popping on live. And if you're watching the recording, then awesome. But yeah, I am super excited about this call just because I just love sharing about our team. And I think we are pretty unique in that we do just really work together and we're kind of I feel like we are like small town vibe and we just all have so much fun, even just within our group chat. So I can't wait until we get more and more coaches together that have that same vibe and yeah, want to share their journeys too. So I am going to start just by sharing my story. Basically, for just over 4 years ago, I was when I started coaching. And at the time, Scarlett, our first daughter, she was about a year and a half. And I had started going back to CrossFit, and then it just wasn't working with my schedule. Then I'd gone back to my dental hygiene position full time. And I was just struggling with a lot, just with balance. And I felt like I was missing out on a lot within Scarlett's life. It was like I started work at 7 in the morning, so I didn't see her in the morning. When I picked her up, it was around 4:15 usually, and she went to bed at 7 o'clock at night. So it was really like we got home, had supper, and then it was bedtime routine. Like I just felt like I was really missing out on a lot. And I was struggling to get to the gym. And whereas before I had Scarlett, it was just kind of my routine. I would go at lunch hour or I would go in the evenings. Actually, I used to go to classes in the evenings a lot because it was something to do, right? In small town, you just went to classes. There's not a whole lot to do. So that was kind of where I was at. So I had actually stopped going to classes completely. And nutrition wise was always a struggle for me. Like I just thought that I couldn't eat healthy, but it was actually my perception of what eating healthy was that I thought eating healthy at the time was just eating salads. And I was like, I can't live off salads. Like, I need food, I need fuel. And so I just had that perception that I couldn't eat healthy and that it wasn't for me and that I would never be able to do that, right? So I actually when I had completely quit all the classes and literally ate horribly all winter, like, oh my gosh, so bad. And I was feeling crappy, like I had no energy. I just had, like, I wasn't happy because I didn't have that fire for anything. I didn't have the energy. I got home from work and all I wanted to do was nap. So I just felt like I was struggling in general with balance and with life and that new transition into, yeah, being a new mom and trying to balance all of that. Um, I was also dealing with some repetitive stress injuries through my hygiene position. It's very hard on our bodies, and ultimately, it was scaring me a little bit because I hadn't even been doing hygiene for 10 years yet. Like it would have been it would have been like at the 6 year mark ish. I was 6 years into my profession and I was already having issues with repetitive stress. And it scared me a bit, like thinking, okay, like what am I going to do? Like, I'm like, I don't want to go to school for 6 years again, or you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to dive back into the university world again. I felt like I had just kind of gotten out of that. So I was a little bit scared about that. But truthfully, it's not like I was really looking for anything per se. Um, I truly think that coaching just came to me at the right time in my life where I needed it. And when I started, I seen my friend from, actually, I should say childhood friend, because we were friends when we were like, our parents were friends, and then we were just naturally friends because our parents always hung out, and then we were always in the same household. So, I mute you there, Alyssa. And so yeah, so we just like we were childhood friends, and but we had each other on Facebook. And I seen that she was doing a spring boot camp, and I could work out from home and I could They had little portion containers, which I truthfully didn't think I would be able to do. But I gave it a go. I signed up. I got my DVDs. Back then, we didn't have on the online streaming platform like we have now. I literally ordered my stack of DVDs for 21 Day Fix Extreme, and that's what I started the following month. So that first month, I was ready for a change. I was tired of feeling tired and crappy all the time. So I did dive in. I figured out my portions for the nutrition plan, and I meal prepped and I measured, and I really just taught myself, I guess, the proper portions, right? And then I dove into the workouts, and I was very skeptical of the workouts too, because I'm just a very skeptical person, let's be honest. But I was worried that they weren't going to work me hard enough. And I had done some at-home workouts in the past, and they hadn't worked me hard enough, right? So the first day I showed up, I pressed play. It was early in the morning, which was not, like, that was not my jam back then. Now that's when I like to work out, but back then it was not. And press play, and if any of you have done that program, the first day is plyo. And I literally almost passed out. Like, I had to stop the workout. And yeah, I had to stop the workout and just completely, I had to completely stop the workout because I could not finish it. And I was like, okay, like, whew, this is real. Like, this is going to work me the next 21 days. So I just continued to show up. I started drinking Shakeology, which I was also skeptical of. I was not a shake person, like, at all. Even when I was in CrossFit, like, I really didn't use supplements at all. Partially because I wasn't educated on them, and partially because we could get tested for with curling. We needed to have like sport safe supplements and whatnot. So I just wasn't educated on it at all. So I just didn't use anything, which I know now, even thinking back to when I was doing CrossFit, it's like, oh, I should have been using like a post-workout supplement for sure, like recovery. And yeah, so I just wasn't educated on it. And within the first week, I was going from completely like processed carbs to eating healthy and drinking my Shakeology. And the first week was hard. Like, it is hard. Like, you're detoxing and your body just wants those sugars and all of that jazz. But after that, I started to feel this energy, and I started to see results that I hadn't seen after spending all those hours at the gym. I was just seeing the full circle results. I think because I was bringing it all for a full circle with the nutrition and diving into the personal development. That's when I first was kind of introduced to that aspect. So after that first month, I actually hopped into it was like an event about coaching, and I just like took it all in. I soaked it all in. Back then it was just kind of like a Facebook event, and I kind of went in and did my own research as well, dove into YouTube and all that jazz. But that's why I like doing a big event like this, so I can show you all of that information that I know I wanted to know before I started coaching. And ultimately, I knew that there was other people out there that felt the exact same way that I did, and that they felt stuck just like I had. And I wanted them to know that there was a solution, that they could feel, they could get their workouts in at home. They could learn the nutrition just like I did, and that they could feel this new energy that I truly didn't even, like, I had never felt an energy like that before. So I wanted to share that. And I was scared. I was nervous, trust me. It was a big step for me to commit to it. But that's why I did my research, is because I wanted to know absolutely everything about it so that I could make an informed decision. And that's why also we have you here tonight too, is just yeah, we want you to have the information. We want you to make an informed decision if you would want to coach or not. And like, this community is insane. It's something that I didn't even think about when I started coaching. So I'm excited to share more about that as I get rolling here. But that's kind of my story, how I started. 4 years in, the last year and a half, I made some big shifts. And I guess I just kind of realized that this is what I wanted. This is that I wanted to do it full time. And I started putting more time into it and working a bit more focused within the time that I had. So I'll share that a bit. I'll share a bit more about that with you guys once I move along here. I just have my notes here. That's why I'm looking over here. But yeah, I'm going to start back with the start of Beachbody. So Beachbody's been around since P90X days, way back, old school programs, DVD style, right? And a lot of it when it started was all infomercials. And I actually looked, and the date that Beachbody was formed was 1998. And so we're sitting at 22 years going strong. And it started as the workout programs, but then what they found, because back then you could still submit your results like we do now. You can submit results you can win the Beachbody Challenge prizes or monthly cash prizes they have as well. So they still had that back then. But what they found is the people that were staying consistent and completing these tough programs, like you think of Insanity and P90X, those were tough programs. And they found that the people that were really diving into these programs and staying committed had something in common. And that was that they were actually within a message board. You know how they used to have those message boards online where you could go and do like a chat? And they were involved. That's what happened, is there was actually these message chats or pages, I guess, where these customers were coming together and helping each other get through the programs. So what they decided is to switch their format, I guess, of the business, and basically the people that are sharing the love of their programs and helping people through the programs, encouraging, inspiring, all of that jazz, they wanted to make them coaches and create this new platform. So that was the start of Coaches, and as we see Coaches today. So it's pretty crazy how it all kind of came full circle, and Beachbody has changed a lot since then. We're constantly innovating, constantly new programs every 3 to 4 months. The nutrition aspect is huge now, as well as like the meditation and personal development aspect is just huge within the company itself. So that's how we kind of started. And a lot of people, like, I've heard this before, I likely used to think it too, is Beachbody a scam? And actually, Beachbody is rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, and it is a billion-dollar company. And like I said, it's been around for 22 years and counting, and we are just constantly innovating and bringing the BOD groups together, all of the accountability aspects that we have now. It's just insane. So yeah, that kind of leads into my next topic, which is the pyramid scheme thing. First of all, pyramid schemes are illegal, and with a pyramid scheme, you buy in and you don't get anything in return, and everyone above you essentially benefits, right? Or the top person benefits. But we do have products, we have services, and I'm a pretty good example of this not being a pyramid scheme, because within the first month as a coach, I actually surpassed where my personal coach was at, where my sponsor coach was at. So you are in control of your own business. It's an individual entity, and ultimately, yeah, you are in control of that, not where you are placed or any of that jazz. So sign up cost is very low. If you've purchased a challenge pack in the past, it's actually free. In Canada, it is, if you did not purchase a challenge pack, it can be waived within like a challenge pack purchase. So for example, with the MVF packs out right now, which are crazy with the nutritional aspects, yeah, that fee can be waived. And or if like when I signed up, I actually paid the fee and then I think I ended up purchasing a challenge pack afterwards. Very backwards, but I basically paid an extra $50. It was $49 for my sign up fee back then. And that's what it is today. It is $39 US. So very low. And ultimately that is for that initial setup, because we do have our websites, we have it all connected within our BOD accountability groups, and it basically sets you up within the whole platform. Within that, we have our training and resources to get you started, and we have our own Kickstarter training. So I'm actually going to share my screen here, and I'll show you a glimpse into our new Kickstarter training. This isn't it here. Let me go. There we go. So this is our Kickstarter training. Can you guys see it all? Just someone nod if you can see it. Yeah, okay. So we have it all broken down. Coaching is just super basic. I actually follow a daily tracker that tells you exactly what to do. And yeah, this is all of our, we have videos for each of them. And I'm gonna go into this tracker here, show you guys. So this is what I follow every single day. And it tells you exactly what to do once it loads here. There we go. So yeah, it has, you start with your journey. Like that is your focus, is showing up for your journey. And so when I wake up in the morning, that's why I get my workout in, I get my morning routine in, I get my mindset in a good place, and then I pour into my challenge groups. And then from there, I share my journey on, I usually use Instagram, but you can honestly use whichever platform you like the best. I actually find that when I go and scroll, I go to Instagram personally, but some people go to Facebook if they want to scroll, right? So once you have your journey done, or your daily activities done, then this tells you even like different ideas to put within your stories, inviting people to do this with you, and connecting with new people, and then diving into your challengers and your coaches and messaging them as well. So I'm just going to go back here. All right. So yeah, that's kind of our basic training, and then that's my daily checklist that I use. Gives you a good idea. I do have one that's a bit more specific too, that I also use that I share with you guys too. But yeah, it kind of breaks it down into those simple steps that you can essentially get done in, like, if you're really focused within your time, you could have that checklist done within 45 to 60 minutes. And I aim to do mine 5 out of 7 days. I like to take the weekends, or depending what my week looks like I do like to take a break from social media, and I think it's important. And that's one of the common fears I think with coaching, is that you have to be on social media like all the time. But it is important to take that break and unplug and re-energize, right? And so yeah, I shoot to do the 5 to 7 days, but this is really going to be based on what your goals are as a coach. My goals have been for a long time to be a full-time coach, and now that is my job. This is my job full-time, right? So based on what your goals are as a coach, this is going to depend what your business activity tracker looks like at the end of the week, right? So yeah. Oh yes, I wanted to let you guys know, feel free to pop any extra questions in the chat on the side if you see that, and I can answer them along the way. But a few perks as a coach. So there are loads of perks as a coach, and lots of these I didn't even know of until I actually started experiencing them. The first one is you get your discount. And if you are already using the products, and you know that you get the 25% off of all of the products. So you get that 25% off discount. And then as for commissions, you can make anywhere from 25 to 40%, depending on what it is. The 40% is for subscriptions. So, excuse me, that would be for like your annual Beachbody On Demand renewal, anything like that, that is a subscription. Yeah, that is the 40%. And 25% is on everything else. And we get paid every single week. So at the end of every Wednesday, that's the end of our pay period. We get paid by direct deposit Thursday mornings. And yeah, you can, once you start building, and I do have a presentation I'm going to show you on the actual commission aspect, but you do start to make more income as you build a team of leaders too. And you start to, as soon as you hit your first advancement, you actually start earning volume income. So there's so many extra bonuses that you can get along the way, and I will dive into that here once I get finished with these perks. But events, so we have local events every 4 months. Obviously right now, those are up virtual, but eventually, hopefully we can get back to these live events, right? And I know myself, I'll travel to Saskatoon or to Edmonton. It's usually within a city that's fairly close to me, right? And these are fun because they're a smaller scale event. So you get to see the coaches that you actually see within lots of our team pages, and you get to meet them in person, and you come together. There's live speakers. Sometimes with the bigger ones, the super trainers are at, and then you do a workout together, and it's really fun just being able to come together on a smaller scale every 4 months. And then we have Summit, which was supposed to be last weekend. We will be in St. Louis next year, and this is where coaches come together. And this, like, I think last year there was 30,000 coaches and all different walks of life. And that's what I love. When I went to my first summit, it was almost a year after I started coaching. And it was seriously just like a game changer. I showed up, didn't know anybody besides my upline coach. And I like met all these new friends that didn't know me, but we had like kind of met within our virtual, like our big team page, right? Because you work with a lot of those coaches, and if you're active within those pages, you really just get to know them, it feels like. So yeah, each year I've met more and more people at Summit, and it's insane. Like, we close the streets down, we work out outside, and the energy you feel, like all these positive vibes radiating out of absolutely everybody there, it's just insane. So definitely changed my life. And I see Alyssa just commented it changed her life. She came last year for her first time, and it's hard to describe the energy that you feel, and it is one of my favorite events. Then we have the success starters. So this is when you're a brand new coach, and they've actually added more to this as a new coach. So if you help 3 people, 3 out of the 6 months after you start coaching, so that would be 3, 6, 9 people within 3 months. But it doesn't have to be consecutive months, just within kind of those first 6 months. you actually get invited to be in an official coach test group. And this would be for a program that isn't out yet. So for instance, one of our coaches right now is actually in one of the test groups for Dallas's running program that's coming out this fall. And we also had another coach within our team that was in the MBF official test group. So like, it's exciting because you get to go into these official test groups and work directly with the super trainer, and you get to be like, you get to give them feedback, you get to like, yeah, it's just really, they never used to offer this to new coaches, and they just started doing this year. So it's pretty sweet that you get to dive right in to a test group by doing that. So that's one of the exciting things with Success Starters. And you also get a free ticket to Summit too. So, and obviously the friendships, I kind of talked about that already. Sam and I, Sam was a free customer of mine that was assigned to me from Beachbody. And once you have 2 people below you and you're considered an Emerald coach, you start generating free customers from Beachbody. So this is people that have signed up under the website and they don't have a coach. So they get assigned to you, and then you get to reach out and you get to start working with them. And Sam and I just kind of hit it off from the hop, and now she's coaching, and she actually came to Summit a few years ago too. So the friendships are just insane, and we do work together a lot as a team. We have our team chat that's constantly flowing as well. I have within our team chats, I have coaches that are in similar places within their business in separate pods, so that we can, kind of all work together wherever you're at within your business, and whatever your goals may be, you're kind of then working with coaches at the same point. And so, yeah, it's just exciting. And truthfully, a lot of the people that I talk to every single day are either my challengers or my coaches. And that's just become a huge part of my life, is just connecting. And it's actually my favorite part of the week is check-ins. Check-ins are my favorite part of the week. So yeah, it is an insane community, and I think you feel that too when you're at a live event or you're at Summit. And you know what, it's not like you have to go to these live events. I truthfully didn't go to the one local event until last fall, but that's me. I'm like a total homebody, and I've finally like stepped out of my comfort zone, and I was like, why haven't I been going to this like all these years? Like, this is stupid. So I will be a regular there now because I stepped out of my comfort zone, and it was great. And same with Summit. I was totally out of my comfort zone, but it was Summit. Like, yeah, I'm going. And yeah, so it's just an insane supportive community, and everybody just kind of works together. And as you grow within your business too, you have different resources that you can use. There's different trainings, and you're just constantly learning and growing as you go. So you don't need to know everything to start helping people. Ultimately, what you do is you start sharing your journey, sharing how you're feeling, sharing all of those daily things that maybe that you couldn't do before, you didn't feel like doing before. And by sharing that, you'd be surprised by how many eyes are on you. Even if you only have 100 followers on Instagram or 100 friends on Facebook, that is 100 eyes, you guys. And that's a lot of people. So it's, once you start sharing, there's people watching and they're supporting you. Sometimes they don't even let you know until like a year later that they've been watching you the whole time. And then they send you a message and they let you know that they have been seriously watching you for, I've had some now, I've been coaching for almost 4 years now. So they're like, I've been watching you for 3 years. And seriously, they have been. but you are inspiring people just by showing up and pressing play and showing up for you. And just them seeing you doing that could be enough to encourage them to do the same thing, right? They can just, because it is a mental battle. It is, like, we all know that. It's just a mental battle. And sometimes it's just that little bit of a boost that they need that particular day to maybe go for a walk, or maybe go press play, or maybe go to the gym, right? So the small actions matter, and consistency matters too, because once people are watching you, that's what they're going to be watching, is for your consistency. And I like to think, like, steady Eddie is just good, right? Like, you're showing up for your journey, you're showing up for your challengers. Maybe you have a couple challengers, you're showing up for a couple coaches along the way. And just by showing up, it's amazing who you will inspire along the way. And yeah, it's just, I know it's changed my life. It changed my accountability. It changed, as soon as I became a coach, I felt like it made me level up. It made me level up within my personal development. I was like, well, if I'm telling them to go read a book, like, I need to be doing this, right? I can't be telling, like, them all the tips and not following through with it myself. So it pushed me to dive into that personal development, which, looking back, that's been the game changer, is diving into that mindset, that mental aspect, because I had a lot of barriers when I started mentally. And I think that's why it took me a while to, overcome some of that stuff and get out of my bubble, get out of my box as a coach. And, I didn't really have, like, we have a big team, but I didn't have a personal coach that really worked hard with me. And so I did feel, that just showing up for my journey and showing up for my challengers was my focus. And it continues to be my focus. My focus hasn't shifted. It's just, yeah, I love helping coaches discover this path, I guess. And that's where I've seen a huge shift in my challengers, in my discount coaches, in my coaches, is when they dive into their journey and, they're growing with the personal development. And that's truly one of the things that, even within our tracker, our business activity tracker, personal development is within there. So choosing to grow every single day and choosing to show up every single day. You can still have rest days, trust me, you don't have to be perfect. We are real people, right? And I think sharing that, I was not feeling it today, but I went into my challenge group and I seen 10 logs already up this morning. And that motivated me to go press play. If they're showing up, then I need to be showing up for them. And that's always been my mindset for my challengers, for my coaches, is showing up. And I think this is going to lead me into my next topic, which is who makes a good coach and who doesn't make a good coach. So I'll lead into who makes a good coach. And essentially, you're passionate about wellness, you're passionate about your journey. Maybe you're excited to push yourself a little bit more. Maybe you're excited to maybe help a couple people, whether that's helping one or two people, or you're diving in and you're wanting to build a business. That's going to be totally up to you. And even within my team, like within Smile Strong, you see some coaches that are all in, and you see some coaches that are sharing a journey, and they're working full time and they're busy, and we are all at different points within our own journeys, but as well at different points within our coaching businesses and different goals, right? So that's one thing I like to talk about with my coaches, and whoever your coach is. That's something that you talk about with your coach. And I always like to break down, if you have big goals for the year or with coaching itself, Then I break down what you need to do to reach those goals. And yeah, so I'm gonna move. I always like get distracted talking about other stuff. But yes, maybe you're wanting a positive community, and within this journey itself, right, it sometimes feels lonely. I know I felt a bit lonely on my journey in the past, but once I dove into the groups and put myself out there and started showing up within our coaching pages, and because initially I was like I didn't know anybody, right? But now, like, you dive into those groups and it's just a big family. Everybody is wanting to help everybody and share their resources, share what's working for them, sharing graphics, all of that stuff. Like, we share all of that. Maybe you're wanting some extra income. I know when I started, we were very much paycheck to paycheck. We are honestly like it felt like we were still catching up from my first maternity leave, because that first maternity leave was really hard for us. So it felt like I was still like playing catch up, paycheck to paycheck. And I just wanted, a little bit of extra income to maybe help pay for daycare, or maybe help me get groceries that month. I was like honestly starting just with that. And as it grew, as the business grew, honestly, when I went to Summit the first time, that was a big eye-opener, because I seen that the potential with this business. And I always knew there was lots of potential, but when I was at Summit, I seen it and I felt it. And you seen those coaches that were getting recognized on the stage, and they would say their speech, or they would walk across and the commentator would talk about the coach, and they were all just regular people that decided to make a shift. And that's the last thing, is maybe you're wanting something more. Maybe you're wanting that fire, that passion. Maybe you're wanting to fuel into other people and fuel that belief into them. And you can be at any point in your journey, and people are going to be inspired by you just showing up and that consistency. And so that's kind of my top qualities for a coach. I think I've said it a lot: showing up and consistency. And you're going to have your own goals, whatever that may be, right? And you're going to have the tools, you're going to have the resources, you're going to have the team that has your back and wants to help you. And obviously, if you're wanting to make a business out of this, and if you want to be a full-time coach, then it's going to take work. It's going to take consistency. It might take a bit of sacrifice. I have sacrificed a lot of Netflix watching for showing up for my business. But ultimately, I actually have to stop myself from working because I like it so much, which it was not the case at my hygiene position. Like, I thought I liked hygiene. I thought I did, but like when work was done, I was like, get me out of here. Like, I do not want to be here late. The last thing I want to be here is late. And it was like, get out of Dodge, start the car, and like yelling, start the car, and getting out of there, right? So this just feels different for me, and I think that's what happens when you're passionate about something, and it is just super fulfilling. It's fulfilling to be able to help people. It's fulfilling to be able to provide them some resources, give them some tips, tell them what worked for you. Like, we don't have to be personal trainers, we don't have to be nutritionists. All that stuff is there. The programs are there for us to use. We are their cheerleaders. We are showing up for them, checking in with them, and just seeing how things are going. So yeah, and not saying that personal trainers or gym owners cannot coach, because they make great coaches too, and they can actually use this business in a completely different aspect. Some gyms use it as a great platform to provide those extra resources like the nutrition and at-home workouts that they have it all then, right? They have it at the gym and they have it at home too. And it provides that accountability aspect, the platform to use that for. So yeah, it truly can be used by absolutely anybody. Who doesn't make a good coach? You're likely not willing to learn. You're not willing to dive into the resources that we have. You're not wanting to give a bit, if that makes sense. Like, because we have all of the resources you need, plus, like, I did not have these resources when I started coaching. I did not, like, absolutely not. And we have all of the resources there. But yeah, it's you have to want it, right? You have to be willing to learn and willing to dive into the training. That Kickstarter training, you guys, will have you set up to help people and beyond. Like, it will have you set up. So you have to be willing to learn and maybe make a few shifts, right? Like I said, like, I gave up a lot of Netflix because that's what we used to do in the evenings. We used to watch TV all in the evenings, and that's what we did. But when I was working full time and then trying to start my business, yeah, it was in the evenings that I worked it a lot of the time, because I truthfully didn't have a very good morning routine back then. Whereas now I do have a bit more of a morning routine. But my coaching schedule, I guess you'd call it, like, for my day, has changed throughout the past 4 years based on what I'm doing. Like, it's totally different now with the twins. I actually have less time, and I have to be more diligent with my time, because I know if I only have an hour, maybe if they're napping, that I have to be super focused with that time. And that's when I dive into my business activity tracker and I set a timer and I stick to it and stay super focused with that. And lastly would be that you're not going to, like, the whole salesy thing where you kind of blast everybody's inbox. And we don't have to be salesy, you guys. We are helping people that want to be helped, and we're sharing our journeys, we're inspiring others. And ultimately, yes, I send people invites that are supporting my stuff every single day, and I connect with them and we chat and I get to know them. And when you're starting out, it's a lot of people that you do know, and you'll notice who's supporting you and who is showing up for you. And lots of people will watch from afar, and you do ultimately just have to, like, you don't want to be the icky salesy person. Nobody wants to do that. That was one of the reasons why I think I did my research so much before diving into coaching. But that's what I liked about this this business, is I could just genuinely show up, share my journey, and support and connect those people that are supporting me. And if I think this is going to be good for somebody, I let them know that. And I let them know, I just let them know that there's this new program coming out and I think it would be perfect for you. And just sharing that, and they're going to see that within your stories, your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories. You can do stories within either platform, really. And they're going to see you showing up. And that's the biggest step. And if you're following your business activity tracker, they're going to get to know you. It's not going to be blasted with the salesy stuff. So yeah, that is one of the common fears, is the salesy aspect. And we're not about that within our team. And I think you would see that if you follow any of us on social media. We do just share our journeys. We share to inspire. We share to add value. Maybe we found a good recipe. Maybe we have a new routine that's working for us. And we share that, right? And that's one thing I like to think before I share stuff is, how can I add value to somebody today? And so that is kind of the focus. And we do offer the service, right? Like, I feel like the relationship and the connections start after you get them set up with their challenge pack. That's when we get to work, we get you within the challenge groups, we get them showing up for their journey within whatever program. And you don't have to know all the programs. Like, that's overwhelming, the Beachbody On Demand. Like, there's lots of programs within there. You don't have to know all that. You learn as you go. You ask within our team chat, and they actually have it broken down pretty nice too now. But yeah, that's what our team chat is there for, to have that extra info for you guys to help you get your people started on the right track too. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Time is another common thing that I hear a lot. And I think a lot of it has to do with our perception of time, or how we're prioritizing our time. And it's pretty crazy how you can literally waste like 20 minutes scrolling on Facebook. And yeah, you can, when you actually break down your time within the day and you see where it's going, you start to realize, oh shit, I was actually scrolling Facebook for half of an hour and I could have been doing work. And a lot of it is just prioritizing your tasks. And we're all busy, you guys. We're all busy within this team. I don't think any of us are not busy. I actually think that busy people do work this business well, because when you sit down and work, you are focused within your tasks, and you're focused within what you want to provide and what you want to share with everybody that day. So yeah, I'm just going to show you this last graphic here, and then I'll share kind of how my day looks too. Let me just get it on the right thing here. They put a tab like right where I need to click. Okay, so this is more so based on, this is our how you earn. And so if you want to take some screenshots, for sure. I also have this graphic within our team page if you want a copy of it. So this is how we earn as coaches. Can you guys see this far right tab? Yeah, okay. Okay, so how you save. So I kind of talked about different coaches. Some are just discount coaches. Some are hobby coaches. They just like to share their journey for accountability and help a couple people. Then there's part-time coaches. They're consistently building and growing their business to be a part-time side hustle. And then there's full-time coaches. So we all save with discounts, which is awesome. So if you look here, month one, it's the same price to sign up as a coach, because that fee is waived. And this is in US dollars, so it's actually 186 Canadian. And then month two, you get your shake at a discount. Oh, sorry, over here at a discount, plus your business fee. So it ends up being $16.54 US that you save each month, which ends up being $198.48 that you're saving throughout the year. That's just on Shakeology. Like, lots of us use the performance line, the bars, the 3-day refresh, new program launches, all that jazz, you get your discount on. So it really adds up over the year. And the exciting thing is, when you're a coach, it's a business. So your shakes are now a business write-off. And you, as coaches, we don't hold any inventory. So everything gets shipped directly from Beachbody, which is different than a lot of companies. And it's nice because we don't have to worry about inventory and having it within our house. We don't have to have any of that. And there's no monthly sales requirements, nothing like that, you guys. You basically, the only thing is this monthly fee, which you're getting your discount, right? So most within coaching itself, you have a lot of discount coaches. Then you have working coaches too. So how we earn, so this is a annual Beachbody On Demand. You make 40% commission on that. So that's $40. And then the challenge pack is the 25%, so $50 commission. And then on the far right here, you can see the Energize, Recover, 3-day refresh bars. You get all of that at discount, and, or sorry, that's the commission you would earn off of those separately. So that adds up over time, and especially when you're consistently working with your current challengers, but as well as new challengers. So this is where I just have to move this little video thing. There we go. There we go. Now I can see. Okay, so we're gonna start over here at month 1. So Help 5. And so say you have 3 challenge packs. Those are the ones that are bundled that have the annual streaming plus supplements of choice. And then 2 annual Beachbody On Demands. So that's $230. So say month 2, you help 5 more people. So you have the challenge packs, say 2 of them just get the annual Beachbody On Demand, and then the second month shake. So that's $327.50. And here's month 3. So help 5. So you have your 5 people again, plus the third month shake, second month shake. So that's $425 commission. So each month you grow and grow and grow, and that's why staying consistent within this business is huge, because yeah, if you're consistently growing and helping people, you will just grow more residual income over time. So say you're at 30 customers months after month 6, you're at $2842.50. And then once, besides commissions, once you're an Emerald coach, so once you have 2 coaches below you, which can be discount coaches, they don't have to be working coaches, that's when you start earning money off of volume and off of your team. And matching bonus starts when you're a diamond coach, and quarterly bonuses, these are every quarter, and this is based off of, that is actually based off of the income that Beachbody has made that quarter. Then they pay out a percentage of that to those coaches that qualify for that bonus. So yeah, and Danny, I was a discount coach for 4 years. Yeah, Alyssa, 1.5 years. Seriously, guys, Sam was a discount coach for a while. So was Keely. But yeah, that's kind of the breakdown on how you earn, and there's loads of training information on that as well. But yeah, it's all there for you to use, and it is just, if you're staying consistent and you're consistently helping people, if you're consistent with your journey, consistently showing up, people are going to see that, and you're going to be inspiring them to get started too. And so on an average day, what do I do? So I'm going to dive into that, because this is important, because people are always like, well, what do you actually do as a coach? And I'll break it down. So I wake up, I do my thing. I do my workout, drink my Energize. I usually share that on social, like on Instagram, Energize and Go, and getting my workout in. The team has a 5 a.m. workout link if you're up for that kind of thing. If not, you don't have to, trust me. But then I do my workout, I take a couple video clips, and then I get them up on Instagram after my workout. And then I dive into my challenge groups. So this is when I'm going in and I'm supporting everybody that has posted a workout, whether it was the night before or that morning already. And I'm going through, commenting on those posts and finishing that up. I'm diving into that aspect first. And then I go into my tracker. So that I've already had like my wellness journey section all ticked off, because I did all that. Throughout the day, I work in pockets of time, and I kind of always had, lots of people don't have an hour, 2 hours to sit down and just work on their business. That's normal. I've always worked in pockets of time. So nap time for me is great. Once I get other things done, I will sit down and I'll connect with people that are supporting my stories. You can see who's watching your stories every day, so I connect with those people. I connect with the people that are supporting my posts, supporting my journey. And also I'm doing check-ins throughout the week with my challengers, with my coaches. And then in the evenings, like some nights we'll have a team call like this, similar idea, like a Zoom call, where you're learning from other leaders. But then some nights I just have my evening check-in to the challenge groups where I check in. So it is like you're sharing your journey and you're connecting with people and inviting them to do this with you and sharing what exactly it is that you're doing, right? Lots of people just don't know what Beachbody is even, and you wouldn't think that, because we think that like everybody knows what Beachbody is, but there's so many people that have no idea what Beachbody even is. We just launched in France. We launched in the UK a couple of years ago, and it's very just still new in the UK. So it is just, we're constantly going to be expanding internationally, and with social media, that gives us the platform to be able to reach out and help more people that way. So that's a quick example of my day. Like I said, I'm very basic. I just stick to my checklist, but I start with my journey first, and then that also gives me the energy and the mindset and the excitement to be able to share authentically on my stories and within my posts. And we even have, like, on the tracker, it gives you different ideas that you can post throughout the week as well. So like I said, lots of resources. But yeah, is there any other questions that I can answer? I don't see any here. I hope I answered or gave you a good breakdown of what we do as coaches, all the ins and outs. I know, if it's something that you can get off this call and you're not thinking about it tomorrow, you're not thinking about it next week, then it's likely not for you, right? But if you get off this call and you're thinking about it, maybe you have some questions, reach out to the coach that invited you. If you're ready, I have a Kickstarter for the team starting on Thursday, and there will be another one starting in August as well. So yeah, if it's something that you're still thinking about, and this is what happened to me, I could not stop thinking about it for 2 weeks. I finally was like, no, this is for me, and I'm going to go for it. I decided that I was just going to show up. I was going to show up for that year, and really it was like, once that year hit, I'm like, wow, this is obviously my jam, my community. These people are awesome. How can I not be involved in this community? That's what it became for me. And it actually would be, if I think through COVID, through all of this, if I didn't have this community, it would have been very lonely. And I think we were all able to kind of come together and lean into the old virtual community. We were used to being virtual, but we got to do it a lot more through this. And I just hope that this brought some value to you guys and has you excited about this. And you know what? We were all scared when we started. It's a big deal. It is. But it's an exciting journey, and this team will support you, and we've got your backs. We'll answer all of your questions generally within seconds in the team chat. One of us is always available. We're always there to help. And it's this team. we have this amazing crew, and we are truly working towards some big goals within the team, within the individual coaches, and we've seen some insane growth this past year. And I know that it's just going to continue because I feel like we're just getting started. Even though I'm like 4 years in, I seriously feel like we're just getting started as a team. And I'm excited to see where we're at next year. And because lots of these coaches weren't even coaching last year at this time. Some of my coaches started in December, January, February. Some just started in the spring, right? So there's always just the opportunity to get started and get into that Kickstarter training. So yeah, that is it. That's all. I went a little longer than planned. I apologize for that. But I hope I did answer all those questions. I knew that it was like a lofty goal to be 30 minutes, but I hope I answered all the questions for you guys. So I'm going to end the call here. Have a good night, and thanks so much for joining in. Private message your coach if you have any questions, and if you do want to get into that Kickstarter, make sure to let us know. So have a good one, guys.